Hello, Maurieo Vlogs number 221, the bookie. Hello, welcome. Well, in my earlier years, I used to have a job as a PD warden for the Justice Department, a periodic detention warden. And what I used to do was I would get up early Saturday morning and I would go down to the public service garage and pick up a post office van, a van that was painted in the livery of the New Zealand Post Office from the public service garage, and I would drive out to Petone, to the periodic detention centre there for the Hutt Valley. And initially I used to pick up a group of guys there, maybe 8 to 10, and I'd deliver them round to various places where they would mow lawns and cut hedges or do all sorts of things. So I've got quite a few stories to tell about my time as a periodic detention warden, so I think I would tell one or two. So the idea of periodic detention was that these guys would come in on a Saturday morning and do some community work, and that was counted towards their sentence. So a lot of them were there for drink driving and various minor sort of things that they'd done, but it was never very effective. I'm not a particularly robust supervisor who sort of insists on their pound of flesh, so they sort of got a pretty easy day with me, but they did have a whole day there. But there was this one guy who turned up one Saturday, and I never saw him again, but he was the only person that I felt that periodic detention was particularly a punishment, I suppose, rather than a deterrent, because he was one of the bookies at one of the local pubs, and of course Saturday morning was his best day for business. So the bookie used to, instead of people going to the TAB, which was the government-run organisation to try and preclude various nefarious things happening, like fixing of the races or sports games or things like that, the government had their own totalisator agency board that was fair and above board, apparently. Because the old bookies, they would sort of take all sorts of bets and things like that, and then I know at the Dominion Tavern, where we used to have a few drinks, you had to be very careful around race time, because the bookie needed to get to the telephone to lay off any bets that he didn't think he could cover with the TAB, and he had a telephone account. So if you were on the telephone, when the bookie needed it, all hell would let loose with, I think his name was Budgie, and he was the bookie there, and used to take all these bets, and they'd write them down in a little book. I think that's why they're called a bookie, although there might be more on that. But this guy, yeah, he turned up for periodic detention. He wasn't your usual sort of jeans and sort of t-shirt sort of guy. He had a sort of a sports jackety thing, not, like a suit coat jacket and things like that. He looked a bit different, but he only ever turned up the once. He probably couldn't afford to come, because Saturday was his day for making book at the one of the local hosteleries or hotels around the place. So he was the only guy I ever thought that periodic detention was particularly effective punishment, but he must have managed to pay his debt to society in another way. So yes, so that's today's topic, the bookie. Now this guy here, he's had some experiences, interesting experiences with bookies. So if you can identify who this is, I can tell you that he's a New Zealander, and he's definitely, yes, if you can indicate what his experience with the bookie might be. Yeah, he's of recent times, perhaps not a huge player in the New Zealand cricket team in terms of his longevity, but certainly interesting player. Came in with a blast and left somewhat under a cloud. But yes. So yeah, name him and what his experiences was with the bookie. So let's go to yesterday's theme, which of course was the channel, the new channel, and this here is one of the inter-island ferries. I don't know whether it's the Arahura or the Aranui. It's one of the two. They were both pretty much identical except for the names on them. And obviously the theme was the new channel, Where, What, Who. And here it is at the entrance to the Tory Channel. Well, I think it's leaving, going through the entrance to the Tory Channel. So a bit of a reverse there. I think it looks like it's heading towards Wellington and heading out into Cook Strait after leaving the Tory Channel. So that was the connection through the Tory Channel. Interesting name. I don't know why it's called the Tory Channel, whether that was a family name or I rather suspect that that's something I could look up at some time. So yeah, WT managed to get that it was the Arahura, and we sort of teased out the Tory Channel thing towards the end there in the comments. So that brings us to an end of vlog number 221, and yeah, we'll look forward to vlog number 222 tomorrow. All good. Cheers. See you.